being this visible, being this naked. I've tried recording 3 times and it's not gone well. Um, I suppose because of who I am and what I live with, being the real me is extremely difficult. Today, I'm at a location that I have visited many a time, many a time. I'm here today because it's my last appointment and I want to ensure that I have a memory of it, a recording of it, so that I am not bereft of a decision I intend to make. My name is Fola the Maverick. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm a maverick. That was the title, unofficial title, a previous manager gave me. And the reason why she called me that, she said, I really don't understand you, the way you think, the way your mind works. I mean, you are a maverick. Maverick being maybe an odd person, somebody that doesn't do things as is done by what is termed as normal people. And that was in 2003. I can still remember it. Because I'm like, what does she mean, Maverick? What does she mean? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with the way I think or talk or rationalize? And in 2025, after so many assessments, I was informed that I am a neurodivergent. That that was extremely shocking for me. I have a brother. My brother is autistic, severely autistic. You know, the autistic who stems a lot. You know, so there's a visual component to his autism. So when I was trying to find out why I seem to not fit into any norm, and went for an ADHD and autism assessment, I felt I'm not autistic because I just have a unique way of thinking. But I was wrong. After the assessment, I was informed you were autistic. So why am I recording? Let me show you this location today. Why am I recording here today? Let me show you. I'm recording here today because I'm here for an appointment. What I have decided is going to be my last appointment at what is termed a mental health unit. Mental health unit in terms of that you might have depression, schizophrenia, bipolar. I've, I have been diagnosed as having a few, but that's not the real reason. The real reason, it seems, is that I'm autistic. So, and why am I putting this out there? Because I hope anybody who feels they're different, who feels that, no, the way I think is right, should know that they are probably right. They are probably very right. It's just that they are not aware that they have many hidden disorders. So I'm going in today for my last appointment for what is called an emotional regulation workshop. And I'm hoping that I don't ever have to come back here again. And I'm hoping that anybody that feels different to the norm maybe understands their internal workings, and that would help them adapt to life. I never could adapt to life. Why? Because I always felt different. I always felt weird. I mean, I don't have a neurotypical look. I don't have a neurotypical should I say this, race, and I didn't have a neurotypical upbringing. So everything was mashed up from the beginning. And I'm just hoping that any young person out there can see things from a point of view that, and understand that they are okay. I have spent my whole life trying to fit in, and I never could. I never could. Never could. I'm educated to master's degree level, but I'm as poor as a church mouse. Why? Because all the skills that a neurotypical person has, that will make them capable. I don't have them. I don't have good communication skills. I don't, I'm not good at maths. I'm good at other things, you know. I write good stories. Um, I'm a good researcher, you know. But every other thing, I have differentiated skills. And because of that, I said to my daughter the other day, I am not putting myself out there because I like the ridicule or I like the insults or I like the jabs. No, I'm putting it out there because if there's a little girl sitting down in the corner somewhere, having her skin crawl with indecision, having her skin tighten with shame and fear that she's not good enough, she should realize that she is good enough. I create a lot of content about mental health. I create a lot of content about hidden disabilities. And I do that because I never had somebody to talk to or something to look at, to read, or to understand why I felt or behaved in a certain way. I'll give you an example. About 10 years ago, I don't speak to my siblings now. I went to visit my brother and I said to him, "Oh, why does your wife paint her face like a prostitute?" I can still remember, I can still see, I can still draw the look of horror on my brother's face, the look of astonishment that such utterance could come out of somebody's mouth, especially somebody who claims to care for him. I, saying it then, didn't realize, even then, even years later, that that was unacceptable. But in 2025, after the diagnosis of autism, I realized that a lot of what I do and how I say things is because of the autism. The relationship is irreparable because of a lot of utterances I've made to a lot of people, things I've done to a lot of people. And that is why I'm sitting in this park alone for my last treatment, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know these feelings inside. I couldn't explain them. I couldn't rationalize them. I just knew that there was something different about me. And my starting point, before I started creating all these reels, is I withdrew unilaterally, cold, from all the 17 medications I was on. Withdrew from all of them completely because I wanted to feel who I was, and I wanted to understand myself. And luckily, my job is an information services manager, librarian. Let me not make it sound fancy. And on the basis of that, I began research into my symptoms, my affects, and it was very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. So I'm going in for a workshop today. It's called Emotional Regulation Workshop, and I'm at the hospital, off medication for nearly a year. being fully aware of the uncomfortability inside and accepting it. Accepting it. Yes. Mama is accepting it. I'm never going to be what I think I should be. I'm always just going to be me. So I think this is my first, I hope, okay live video, live stream. Um, Despite being a librarian with digital skills and a word of com- um, qualifications, I still find things very difficult to understand unless I'm in isolation. If you are an autistic person, you know that change is not in your vocabulary. You don't want change. Everything has to stay the same. So coming out here today to make this video was terrifying. My place to be is to hide. My place to be is not speak. So anything new introduced into my world, I shun away. So, but I did this today. Um, I noticed that, oh, there were quite a few people at one time. I'm not very good. There are 4 people. Hi. And I don't know if I've put the comments on, but I am just talking to you from my brain and from my heart. And I hope today, after my appointment, I'm making the right decision. The right decision not to go into any more workshops for mental health and learning how to be with who I am internally. And to anybody that's out there that's autistic, I'm very sure you might understand where I'm coming from. Let me take off these dark glasses. I hate the light. That is me. Nothing spectacular. Light bothers me. Smell bothers me. Touch bothers me. Um, so, and yeah, that's the nakedness of me and nothing more to hide. And I'm going to leave now. And one of the things I've realized through therapy that a lot of autistic people do is that they mask. They mask who they are. They mask their existence. You know, they pretend to be a certain way when that's not who they are, you know, and that's fine. I'm now accepting and opening up to the world. I mean, not to the world, but just opening up myself to ridicule, to hurt, to pain, and accept that my differentiation is me. I'm not going to, I'm just hoping that the other day I went to an autism workshop and I met this young child there. Well, not a child, maybe a teenager. And she was excruciatingly private, excruciatingly quiet. I mean, even as most autistic people do, looking at people straight in the face is the most difficult thing to do. And I went to her and just sat next to her, just sat there. And then she reached out with her finger and drew a line on on the back of my palm that was next to me. That was for me. That was worth all the ridicule I get for talking about myself online. Because I always wished somebody reached out to me when I was younger, reached out to me as a teenager, as a matured woman, and now as an aged old woman. My reason for talking is not to change anything. It's not to It's not for views, it's not to impact anybody. It's just that I hope it touches somebody that is there alone, that is there not understanding, and then realize maybe I need to check this out. Am I autistic? Am I ADHD? Is it a DNA thing? Is it something to do with my generational trauma? Is it something to do with my lifestyle? And that's why I'm talking today, the last day of my emotional regulation workshop. My name is Follow the Maverick. Follow the Maverick that an old employer called me. I still remember 2002, 2003. I can still remember sharply her saying she couldn't understand the way I was think. And I used to say, what's wrong with the way I think? And it's in this year that I realized I'm what is called a neurodivergent. Yes, I'm not neurotypical. I'm different. So I'm going to round this up and leave. Ooh. So thank you for those who are there here for a second, a minute. I appreciate you being there. Time is valuable. Time is valuable. So I'm just gonna log off now and be happy that I did this. You know, um, I'm not. I'm not. I put a disclaimer there out here. I'm not a qualified person regarding mental health or disabilities. I'm just talking from the heart about mine. And one of the most difficult things an autistic person can do is throw away their mask. Today, in a way, I've thrown away my mask. I'm not hiding it behind filters, beauty, age, wealth. I'm not gonna hide it behind anything. I'm just talking. So any young person out there sitting alone, crying, hugging themselves, not believing in themselves, just know that as sometimes a bike might not walk properly because of its wheels, as boring an example as that is to use, or maybe a particular dish doesn't taste properly, maybe because you've not put the right ingredients in. Sometimes our bodies, our brains doesn't have the right ingredients. That's a horrible way of putting it, but I I'm trying to be as silly as possible so that it's not taken as something so serious. Because when you talk about mental health, it is always so serious. It is always so grinding. It is always so dire. But it's simply just a differentiation. And I know I use the word simply, but it's something the mind has to accept that this is me, you know, this is me, this is who I am, with all my nuances, all my affects, all my weirdness. This is me. Once people learn to accept that feeling within, then it becomes easier to live in a neurotypical world. So I think I am missing my appointment. I think so. So I'm just going to log off here. I really thank anybody who stayed to the end. I appreciate you. I appreciate the person who was here 30 minutes ago. And I just appreciate everybody. So, young mind, young person, anybody out there who's feeling alone, don't. You always have something to offer. And this is Follow the Maverick. Logging off. Have a wonderful day. Oh my gosh, I didn't see all the um the comments. I am so sorry. Hi, Lucy Moses. I am so sorry. Oh, everybody's left. I've said bye bye. Anyway, not to worry. Thank you for being here. I hope I come back again and I can speak to you. Oh my God, thank you. Oh, I just noticed that people are here. Oh my God, I just noticed. Hi, I, you know, I didn't notice. Oh, hello, hi, thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, wow, the, the, yes, I'm feeling hot. I'm bothered because I didn't notice that. Thank you, but I will have to shoot off because my appointment in this hospital is, I think, is it 11 o'clock yet? Let me see. Oh, I still have about 10 minutes, so I can still talk. I still have about 10 minutes. Hi, Lucy Moses. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just that I didn't, you know, I, I'm looking at the numbers and I didn't notice the comments. Hi, hey, Hammond Sulano Mal. Sorry if I said that wrong. Um, bye, Hammond. I'm sorry. So that is just me. This is more very odd and not a very professional intro to my YouTube page, but my intent, as always, is just simply to talk about anything that affects the internal, the mind. Um, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to unmask. I'm not going to hide my face. The typical neurodivergent that I have, I mask a lot. Masking is something that an autistic person does because you behave in a way in which you think everybody wants you to behave. And I have lived like that all my life to my detriment. So I'm going to put on my clear glasses um, for the, which is a bit traumatic for me, but here we go. Um, that is me with my, ah, oh, thanks, Lucy Moss. Thank you very much for that message. I think a lot of people need that. A simple word like "we are all here for you." I know that for the rest of today, I will, I don't know why I'm crying, I will feel that I've achieved something. The child in me doesn't want anybody else to ever have to feel this alone at this stage of their life. You know, um, it's amazing that as I can be as educated as I am, I have a master's degree, but I am totally clueless about life. As you can see from my gray hair, I'm no spring chicken, but I'm totally clueless about life. And that's because I've been living in a limbo. You know, let me tell you what brought this on. I mean, I hope I don't upset anybody, but I yesterday found out that this young man called Malcolm Jamal Warner, he used to, he played the role of Theodore Huxtable in the Cosby Show, and he passed yesterday. He went swimming, and an incident happened. I was devastated. I mean, and I was devastated in the sense that it made me realize that you can live in a bubble all your life and not know and not realize that if you don't move from a mindset, you will never make a change. And the change from me came from being able to create reels, being able to reach out through my brain, not who I am, not wealth, not looks, not what I believe I'm entitled to, just talking from inside, from my brain. And that's all I was able to do. And my recovery has been from that point of view, from being able to simply talk. So when I learned that this young man died yesterday, I was devastated. And I just felt, what are you hiding? Okay, you've got the diagnosis. You've got to snap out of this. So I'm here. Let me just show you these lovely flowers. Isn't that a thing of beauty? A thing of beauty that we take for granted. I personally, I love nature. You know, where I live, I live in Britain, by the way. Where I live, I have a tree there. And as weird as that sounds, whenever I pass that tree, I feel a sense of calm. I don't know whether the tree is transmitting something to me from Mother Earth saying, you're doing okay. You're not doing fine, but you're doing okay. So here I am. I want to say that, I wish, you know, it's funny. You might live in an advanced society, you might live in a not advanced society, and you'll be shocked that what you need to survive adequately most of the time comes from within. I didn't know that, you know. I didn't know that. I used to blame everything in to do with my upbringing, generational trauma, you know, culture. I just didn't realize that it's my internal, my function as a person that was all, excuse my language, fucked up. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, can't believe I said that. But how do I make it clear? I don't want anybody in the world, if they're out there, to get to my age and just begin to realize their potential. I don't want that. I used to work at a school, and my greatest joy was seeing, because I live in England, year sevens are 11 years old. I used to watch them learn, watch their brains, the wheels in their brains turn, and realize that the wheels in my brain didn't turn for a long time. And that was painful. That was painful. That was painful. But I'm happier now. I'm happier. Um, I'm happy that I can give out something. Might not be useful to many people, but it will be useful to at least one person. So, yeah. Anyway, my appointment is in about 5 minutes. I want to say thank you very much. I think I've said that about 4 or 5 times already. Thank you very much for being here, for listening, for taking the time to respond. I appreciate it. And I hope that whatever I put out there in future would be useful to anybody. So you all have a wonderful day. My name is Paula, the Maverick. Have a wonderful day.